Hello and welcome to PMCLounge.com. My name is Shoaib. I'm the voice behind all the videos that you see on the PMCLounge.com website as well as our official YouTube channel, youtube.com/PMCLounge. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, in this video, let's discuss 8 best practices that you need to follow as a manager, as a project manager, or a people manager if you work in a high attrition environment. Now, I'm sure nobody wants to work in a high attrition environment in the first place, but if you happen to work in a certain place that has high attrition, what are the best practices that you should follow? And we have done a couple of other videos as well on high attrition. Link number 1 and link number 2 will take you to those videos. But in this video, let's discuss the 8 best practices, starting off with best practice number 1, and that is after exit confirmation, after you know it is confirmed that one person is leaving, one of your team member is leaving, you need to ensure that there is minimal impact on the rest of the team and the peers. That is very, very important. Knowledge transfer must happen. You need to make sure that the rest of the team is kept informed. It should not come as a surprise to them that so and so from their team is leaving. Ideally, it should come from you as a manager itself, right? You as a manager, you need to make sure that you are keeping your team informed if it is confirmed that a certain employee is leaving, certain team member is leaving. If that employee who is leaving was working with a customer, you need to make sure that the customer is also informed. You know, the customer don't want to receive a nasty surprise if the person that they were working with is leaving. Right? Let's talk about best practice number 2, and that is to address the team about the root cause of the employee's departure. Very, very important. You need to have a two-way communication between the management and the employees. So you need to address the root cause. You need to let the rest of the team know what the root cause was that led to an employee's departure. And you need to be open to have suggestions, comments, and recommendations from the rest of the employees as well, making sure that it is a two-way communication. Best practice number 3, create an ideal work environment by providing 3 things: development plan, transparency, maximum transparency, and growth opportunities to your team. So every person in your team should have a development plan. They should know where the company thinks or where you think they will end up 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, right? So they should have a development plan and what they need to do to reach there, right? So that's development plan. They should have that. They should have transparency, like I spoke of in the previous point as well, that the communication between higher management and employee should be a two-way street and it should be transparent. And finally, the employees should have growth opportunities. You need to let your employees know, let your team members know how they can grow in their career. What are specifics of a promotion, a job promotion or job enhancement, right? Best practice number 4 is to ensure immediate action to reduce the peer pressure which arises out of a person leaving, right? So if one of the team member leaves, the others immediately have a certain peer pressure. They think that the person who's leaving is going to a better job at a better pay, right? So there's peer pressure in the air, right? So you need to make sure that to diffuse that peer pressure, and you need to make sure that the morale and the motivation of your team is at a high level, right? So how do you do that? You need to communicate. You need to make sure that your team has high morale. You need to make sure that your team has high motivation levels at all time, and there's no peer pressure which is building up because of one employee's leaving. Best practice number 5 is to have an open forum where you can keep your team informed about the prevailing situation of the company, be it anything, right? Prevailing situation of your organization can range from what's happening with your customers, what's happening in the industry your company operates, anything of that sort. You need to make sure that the team is informed about the prevailing situation, and you can also invite suggestions and recommendations that your team members may have. That's also very, very important. Best practice number 6 is to conduct team building sessions, right? So that the team bonds together. And that is very, very important. A lot of managers simply don't pay enough attention to this. If you have leisure outings, that is going to help the team members bond together, and that is very, very fruitful, especially if you're working in a high attrition environment, right? So very, very important. Conduct team building sessions, have leisure outings, make sure the team bonds together pretty well. Best practice number 7 is to provide a holistic view on where the organization is heading. Very, very important. Your team members should know where the organization is heading, right? Let's say we always talk about the disruptive technologies. We talk about cloud computing, Internet of Things, and stuff like that. What is your organization's stand on these disruptive technologies? If you're working in IT, of course. So if you're working in IT, if you're working in an environment that has high attrition rate, you need to make sure that your team members understand where your organization is heading towards, specifically in these disruptive technologies areas, right? If you're working on something which has nothing to do with cloud, is your organization planning to do something with the cloud? Because that is disruptive technology. That is technology of the future. And if you keep your team informed about it, it promotes transparency and it will help them plan their future as well, right? And finally, tip number 8, best practice number 8, if you work in a high attrition environment, is to always have additional bandwidths. Always have backups for all your employees. You know, you can have people perform cross trainings, you can have people shadow others even if they do not work in a certain subject matter, but it's good to have backups. It's good to have additional bandwidths, because if you're working in a high attrition rate environment, you never know who's going to leave, right? That's the reality of the situation, and that is why it is always important to have backups. So those were 8 best practices that you can follow if you are a project manager or a manager in a high attrition environment. Link number 1 and link number 2 have a specific videos that we have done on high attrition, so do check them out. That's all that we had in this video. Hope you got value out of it. Do hit the like button if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified whenever we upload new content. As always, don't forget to check out the website pmclounge.com, your #1 free PMP and project management resource. Thank you.